the fight against corruption in the country, the economy, governance, and issues around his party, the All People's Congress Party, among other things. JFK, apologies for holding you too long behind the scene, but good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm excited to be here.
Good morning. Quite a lot seems to be happening. Before you enter the studio, we're talking on education, constraints that kids are going through as we speak. Schools are opened, but government and government-assisted schools are still closed. Will you want to share your thoughts on the situation as we progress into the conversation?
Yes, Samuel. It's a very sad state of affairs for the schooling system. As a parent, I relate with the concerns. And schools open, we cannot go to school. We cannot drop off our kids at school. And the economy is so tough, parents cannot afford learning materials. Government fails to pay subsidies to teachers. It's only, I was listening to Bami on the radio saying that they have paid, and some people are saying they've only paid a small amount. And so this money was there. They had to wait until the teachers go on strike before they can pay. It's disappointing. And this is what I talk about, misaligned priorities of the government. We should prioritize teachers and education. It is just not about talking about it. It is about walking the talk. Do something about it. So it's a shame and embarrassment. I do hear talking about 22% of the budget allocation going to education. But sad to say, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen the performance in quality increased. So if today our educational system is near collapse, it's an embarrassment for the government.
You've recently declared your intention to run for the flag bearership of the APC party, your party. And also we've had a lot of description as to the person you are. Some described you as a beacon of hope. Others see you as, of course, a very fine lawyer. Others do say you are the unblemished patriot. How would you want to describe yourself?
I would like to describe myself as a man of humble origins. Simple man. And who is that man? Joseph Fitzgerald Kamara, with no additions, no adjectives. And what do I mean by that? Just look at me, look at what I've done. Just see the actions that I've taken wherever I've been, and let my actions speak and describe who I am, rather than me saying who I am. Because it's difficult for us sometimes. You never like to talk about yourself, and I'm one of those persons. And I was at one event once, when I was being introduced, I couldn't believe it's me. It's all about the accomplishments that I've made, but I never pay attention to the accomplishments. I always pay attention to what I can do. I'm a service-oriented person. So the JFK you hear about is a service-oriented person. And I'm coming into the race of this leadership in the APC and the eventual leadership for the country out of selflessness. As an individual, I'm a very content man. I'm satisfied with what I've been able to accomplish in life. But I want to serve my country more. And I've seen a vacuum. There's a gap in leadership. There are challenges for our people, and I have not seen anyone taking up the chance, taking the government, making it accountable to its people. And I think I have what it takes. I believe that out of that selflessness, wanting to do more for our people, I'm stepping up. I'm stepping onto the stage and offering myself for the people. Look at me, is what you get. Look at what I've done, it's what you get. And when I say this, look at what I've done. Look back. Look at my actions. I've worked at the Anti-Corruption Commission. I've worked at the UN through the Special Court. I've been Attorney General, Minister of Justice. I've been President of the Bar Association. You can name them. But it is not the description of those offices. It is a performance in those offices. And if you look at the performance, it is time you assess me by what I've done. I was answering your question once, and I said, the mistake we've always made in Sierra Leone in choice of leaders, we have not examined the leaders before they come to our office. We stop short. We look at our leaders, oh, he's my tribesman. Oh, we belong to the same party. And basically, that's all. And we have not examined the leader, moral standards. We have not examined the leaders professionally. We have not examined the leaders out of experience. We have not examined the leaders from the pedigree. That is what they've done before. This is how you measure leadership. In other countries that have got it right, that is how they assess leadership. You come in through scrutiny. For me, I'm not hesitant to go into any studio. I've been in several studios. I'm making myself public. Here I am. Ask me questions. Probe me. Prove whether I'm fit for the office or not. Because the danger there is, many people don't even know they are not fit for the offices they aspire for. They have to be told. So if I'm coming, I feel short, I go back and take a look. Maybe I missed it. If that is the case, the public would tell me.
Definitely we're going to utilize this moment to probe you and ask you all the right questions to determine as to whether or not you're fit for the position you're vying for. But you did also mention about the positions you once held as the Commissioner for the Anti-Corruption and also as the Attorney General. One may wonder, what governance problem are you trying to solve at the moment?
I will start by the economy. And when you look at the economy, the first component is energy. I came here, we went out of power. So when I speak about energy challenges, people think it's all politics. It's not about politics. I'm a people-centered person, and I care about people. Energy, we're here, and energy is gone. Energy is so key to development. You recall when President Kumar came to office, he promised to give energy in 100 days. He delivered to that extent. We are now 7 years into the governance of the SLPP, and we still have challenges with energy. And guess what? The Minister of Energy is the President. It's unforgivable. If you're the President, you cannot fix it. What does that tell you? It tells you cannot fix the nation. It's time you realize that. So what I'm saying is, firstly, we'll fix the energy. I'm very concerned about energy. And the next thing is in the economy, when you look at the cost of living. Cost of living is very high. As a public figure and open, my office is public, people come every day. I feel and relate with people. I feel the suffering of the people. I move around. My wife has a shop, she sells. I go to the shop to assist her. I talk to people daily. I get to hear and I get to feel their concerns. So when I look at it, I say, do I see it and fold my hands? Because JFK, you okay? No, I'm not. And when I look my background, where I came from, I used to sell palm oil at Fireball with my aunt when my mom was at school, at college. So I've gone through all that. So I will never be comfortable when I know there are things we can do to salvage the situation for our people. That is another one. Thirdly, education. Challenges in education. It is not this government. Successive governments have had challenges with education. We can fix it. For me, I'm more concerned about the quality of education rather than the numeric numbers. You can have 10,000 graduates if they cannot perform. And in fact, when you look at education, we should try to switch to vocational training and science training. I always tell people, what's the point of studying, what would I call it? Social work.
Social work, history and politics.
History and politics, Greek and Roman culture.
African studies.
I mean, when today, it doesn't give you much. If you go to school, study something that can put money into your pocket. So we need to change that cycle, that thinking, that curriculum thinking. We're still glued to the thinking of the past. I went to Ghana some time ago, and as I was driving by, I saw School of Sciences and Mathematics. Not too long from that distance, I saw the School of Advanced Technology. Ghana is moving. And if you watch the Nigerian television, you see they too are moving towards a more technological, savvy governance style of education. That is what we need to do. And my friend is the Minister of Education, and I'll be engaging him personally on this. We're just roommates at the university. Say, look, my friend, you have an opportunity to change things. And we're here, and this is our time to prove to the nation that we can fix it. 7 years down the road, free quality education has been a disappointment. It's been a failing system. And so much money has been pumped into it, and it's all gone into private pockets. So education is another challenge. So these are the things I see. There are many, and that's why I'm offering myself, Terry.
In your submission, you did made mention that when the president took up office, one of the key things that he said he was going to address or fix is the issue of electricity. Yeah. You're one person who constantly keep talking about restoring trust. Yeah. What does trust look like to you?
Well, trust is very significant. I'm a son, a child of a teacher. And those days when they say a teacher is someone with integrity, someone disciplined. And so my mother disciplined me and imbibed in me the culture of having to be someone that people can believe in. Be yourself. And I attended the Albert Academy. is esse qua videre, rather to be than to seem. Be yourself. And in being yourself, you only do that by earning the trust of others. And how do you earn trust for others? Is by really standing up to the principles of integrity and standards of public expectations. You may never reach that, but make an attempt. So trust is very important to me. Public trust is very important to the people of this country. And it's a measurement, a yardstick for leadership. If I look at you, Samuel, and I want you to be manager of AYV, I should have the trust placed in you, that you'll have the ability to execute the functions. So trust is huge for me. It's huge for the public. And today, what do we see? A deficit of public trust on the government. Huge deficit of public trust on the government. So we have to step in, come in, provide confidence for the public that as an alternative government, I will offer myself and lift up that trust and earn it.
JFK, we'll have to talk on several sectors. Currently, the president's priorities agriculture, and many have raised a lot of questions with regards the manner at which allocations have been made to a sector that is considered a priority. What are your plans? Say the APC party gives you the opportunity to lead their party. What are your plans in addressing food security, which still remains a problem for Sierra Leone?
Yeah, good question. I can tell Samuel, food security shouldn't be quite of a problem. Let us start with industrialization. Industrialization means that bringing big machinery. We have land. We have the workforce. Our youthful population is there. You go through the streets, you see someone with a tray selling peppermint. The energy that is exuding from that could be better placed somewhere. So we have the youthful population, we have the land, the key indicators that you need for farming and proper agriculture. So all we need is government to direct its investment into the industry, industrialization, bring in the machinery. We know we eat rice in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. We know how many hectares of rice we need to grow to feed ourselves. Probably maybe 3 or 4 farmers in the US can feed the entire Sierra Leone. Today we had the last time that wheat was going to be delivered from Ukraine. Despite Ukraine is such a small country. We should not be dependent on others to give us our basic needs. I'm saying with industrialization, we have the farmland. We encourage investors to come in and farm. Generally, give them the impetus, tax breaks. Then we'll have the food we need. So that is my vision in terms of agriculture. But I can tell you where they've missed it in this government. We have the Feed the People project, is it they call it?
Feed Salon.
Feed Salon project. Whatever name you want to call it, Feed Salon project. Where has that taken us? People are still hungry. We're now looking through the streets, we meet people dead, not out of kush necessarily, some out of just poverty and hunger. When we were growing up in this country, people will tell us that we be angry need they kill. But now, angry they kill. We see it every day. People are struggling. They cannot afford 1 meal a day. And this is sad for the government. It's sad for our people. In a country as Sierra Leone, with all the resources we have, mineral resources, with all the agricultural land we have, we cannot feed our people. The Feed Salon project, government is pumping money into it, so-called. Now, we have not seen the evidence of it by way of delivery. But I can tell you why. This money they say they're pumping doesn't go there. If it does, the project does not have the capacity to absorb the resources that come in. What is the result? Unspent funds, meaning monies that they are unable to use. Unspent funds, you will think they take it back. No, they don't take it back. It goes into people's pockets. And that is, if you look at the audit report the last time, you had the huge figure of 800 million or something like that. Been missing.
But they said it was a mistake. They said it was a mistake. It was a typo. That was not what they meant.
After the audit has done and they concluded, you know, in auditing, when you finish, you have what you call the exit meeting. And in the exit meeting, you sort out your differences.
Absolutely.
After the exit, if there was any error, they should have sorted out in the exit meeting. After the exit meeting is concluded, report is written, and then you come back, oh, typo error. Does that look to you like a typo error? No, it wasn't. I think we in Sierra Leone, with the people, we make it so easy for government to escape because we don't scrutinize them. I was talking the other day about this single-digit figure of the inflation. It's all hype. It's all hype. I want to see those indicators that can tell us that we are in a single-digit inflation, but nobody queries it. We have economists. We have lecturers. They're all compromised. They don't query the government. This is the time we step up, speak up, and tell them, prove to us, where are those indicators that can tell you that we're in a single-digit inflation?
The agricultural sector is one the government seems to pride itself during the president's last State of the Opening address in Parliament. This was one sector he actually hyped. In other words, he did mention that 30% of rice that are utilized in the school feeding program are rice that are gotten from farmers in country, which is largely as a result of the efforts that have put in place in ensuring that local farmers now expand on production and productivity. JFK.
I tell you, Samuel, I'm a lawyer. I'm evidence-based. So I just don't take what people say for granted. I want to see the evidence. He may have said that. Is it the first time that he's saying things that he has not done? We have proven? No. He was in Parliament the other day telling us about energy over almost 100%, and they realized it. He was shocked that he was saying something untrue. But it was there in his script. And it is not only the time. So from that experience, I can tell you that what is in his script sometimes he may not even have read. Because they just load it. How many people really scrutinize the president's speech from an analysis perspective, saying that 30% is from the resource, local resource? I don't see that. I don't feel it. I eat parboiled rice. And the parboiled rice I eat is not locally produced. I don't even know where to go and get it. If I want, I have to go to the provinces. I have to send to our villages. I've started farming because I think I want to eat my own rice. I want to eat my own food. So when they're saying 30% provided by government, go to the schools. They have not even received the rice you're talking about. When was the last time children ate in school? You don't know.
The constant travel of the president, government officials have associated to rebranding the image of Sierra Leone. According to the many ministers we've had in our studios, they said it's meant to rebrand the image of Sierra Leone. But I want us to focus our attention at this moment on the proliferation of drugs in country. JFK.
Yeah.
What will you prefer as a solution? You mentioned Kush, which is killing many youth on a daily basis. You go along the streets of Freetown, you see dead bodies of youth, productive youth, who've been clinched by this menace. How will you address him?
It's a sad state of affairs, as I speak about it. I'm a parent. Whenever I see these victims, I see the faces of my kids, and I feel bad. And I live in the middle of them at Lumley. I operate there. They come to me every day. But let me tell you something, Sam. I think it was 5 days ago, I went under the bridge at Lumley, took food and clinicals. I saw sores I've never seen in my life. And it's difficult for the government to turn a blind eye to this. This is the generation that will come to lead us tomorrow. And their lifestyle is being consumed by synthetic drugs. And the government seems to be turning a blind eye. How do we intend to manage this thing? And I'll be in Bo tomorrow. And I'll do the same thing, I'll replicate it in the southern region. But because we do have what we call the JFK Healthcare Initiative. I've been doing this for the last 10 or 11 years or so. Now what do I see? I would suggest to the government, because for me it's just not opposing, you come with solutions. Firstly, we need rehabilitation centers. We need to get rehabilitation centers where we could take them to and monitor them so that we do a process of detoxification of whatever is in their system. Secondly, if we cannot afford the rehabilitation centers, we can have mobile clinics, just like what I did, going to one port or whatever they are. Wherever they are, we go there to attend to them. One important thing I realized, because you wouldn't believe it, Samuel, if you don't go to them, you don't really understand the circumstance, what is happening. I went there, and you know what they were happy about? It's not about the food. It's not about the clinicians cleaning their sores. It was the fact that I went there, the attention I gave them. Psychologically, it's good. Let them see the leadership of the state. They feel attended to. So I'm telling you, it places them that, oh yes, because don't look at them as the condemned of society. You should not look at them like that. One morning, I get to work very early, just down the road. And the boy approached me, most about in his mid-20s. So I know it's 3 days. So watching at me one day. How me connect to you 3-1 days we no eat? Say, Padua, Feneni can work for me. Looked at it. It's all right. Today they can't clean this office. Clean them. Said, okay. Say, Padua, work no day? I said, no, clean force. And then he said, Pa, I'm a certified engineer. Whap, to English. I'm a certified engineer. I was struck. Wow. Certified engineer, you? I said, yes. I said, okay, wait. Draw this building for me. Civil engineer? He said, yes. I said, from where? From a college. Wow, I looked at him. I said, okay, come with me. I went upstairs, asked my secretary to give him some papers. Gave him the papers, I went to my office. 45 minutes later, my secretary came and said, boss, that guy is outside, he has some papers for you. I said, oh, that's Kush boy? So let me see. I looked at the papers. Indeed, I'm not an engineer, but I saw he has graphically represented the structure of the building. So when we look at these victims, we always think they're just the under the bridge boys, but they're engineers, they're lawyers, they're doctors, and they're brothers and sisters of us. Absolutely. So I think it's a very serious concern. Government must pay attention. And then we look at the allocations of government to health. So much money. But when we have this menace, I wouldn't want to dare to call it epidemic at this time. So where is the money going to? So I think mobile clinics, rehabilitation center, regular visits, engaging them, consulting with them, and then having a consortium that we all believe that once we start getting them out, and they feel welcomed, they feel that they are part of our society, things will change.
And JFK, I may want to shift your thoughts a little bit. We'll definitely come to that because when it comes to issue of youth and drug abuse, I'm very much concerned about it. But let's look at your legal background. I mean, you've held one of the highest offices, the Attorney General, Minister of Justice. What would you say, or how would you rate the management of the rule of law and justice system in the country presently?
Oh, excellent question. I wouldn't rate it in terms of percentage grades. It would be difficult because of the componential variance. But I can tell you that, firstly, let's look at discipline. There is no discipline. And our people feel betrayed because when those who voted for His Excellency the President thought that his military background will enable him to bring in discipline. But the discipline he's brought in is all for himself and for his benefit. The indiscipline is out there in the streets. You drive through the city of Freetown, you can see indiscipline everywhere. People don't have no respect for anyone. Indiscipline in the offices. So in terms of rule of law and people respecting the law, you doubt it. People go to court, they don't get justice. That's just the reality. And we have accusations of perception of the justice system, that people don't believe that you get remedial measures from the court. You recall even with the 2023 elections, when it was a situation whether the APC should go to court or not, the argument of those who believe that we shouldn't go to court was that they don't have confidence in the justice system, that they will get justice in the court. And when a country gets to that stage, it is dangerous. It is sitting on a time bomb. Because when people can't ventilate their grievances and they cannot go to court to get justice, watch it. Anything can happen anytime. And so we are in a dangerous signal form. So I think that when you look at the justice system today, the lack of confidence and trust of the public onto the justice mechanism is our biggest challenge.
On that note, I mean, still with the issue of distrust, I mean, which is very much important. I mean, trust is very integral, more so in governance. Yeah. Now, with the institutions that one may say are supposed to hold, the government accountable, right? Like Parliament, the judiciary, and also the ACC. In your own opinion, do you think those institutions operate independently?
Well, let me start with Parliament. Parliament are passing the laws. But when it comes to issues of public trust, it's like an account, an expense account. The more you take from it, the more it depletes. If you take a huge chunk of the money out one go, a deep dive. Take the situation of the clerk of parliament. Unlawfully recruiting his wife, doing sweet nothing, paying the wife all the money. And then when queried and asked to pay back. They paid back, and he continued serving in that office. Public trust is gone. It evaporates. This is the House of Parliament. Now we have many bills in the House of Parliament that have not been considered at this stage. I wrote a letter to the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament last week. There's a bill there to enable the diasporans to come and participate in governance, especially for elected officers. I'm yet to receive a reply. I haven't received it, but I believe that down the road I'll get a reply. But these are issues that affect the public trust over this institution. Now we look at the courts. The courts in their judgments. We have very good judgments coming from the court, understandably, but we also have very bad judgments that typically do not give confidence to the people. Now, how do we look at it all? So there are things we need to do with the judiciary. We've got a new Chief Justice. We are working with him as every members of the opposition. We are open to guide him because the justice system is not for a political party. The justice system is for the country. Because the moment you over-politicize it, then it will never be able to function as a justice system. So I think it's about time that we depoliticize the judiciary, we engage with the Chief Justice and other judges of the court, deliver justice, one, on time, and two, without fear or favor. What we did when I was Attorney General, I made sure that we revised the salaries of the judges. Significant revision. It was a difficult task, but I was able to get the support of His Excellency the President then, Dr. EBK Kamara. We revised it significantly, and we thought it would solve the problem. But disappointingly, it hasn't solved the problem. So it's not about the earnings, I can tell you, Samuel. It's about the integrity that Marina is talking about. You can put the best man in the office. You can pay him all the money you want. But if his fluidity of integrity is weak, slow, low bar, he will not perform. We can have the best of the laws, but the individual interpreting those laws, if he doesn't have the inner self-integrity, it's for nothing. The law is nothing but a right on paper.
Marina did reference the judiciary quite recently. I know on the 16th of this month, the new Criminal Procedure Act will come to effect. And over time, we've had a lot of debates around certain provisions in it, one of which that has to do with the expansion of the jury system, for which many believe was a key safeguard in that constitution. I've asked several questions. I even asked the current Attorney General, Minister of Justice, why review a section that is still entrenched in the ground of the land, which is the 1991 Constitution, because the jury is still there. Utilize the jury, either proceedings are held either by judge and the jury or by judge alone. It's still in the Constitution. The question is, if you were at the helm of affairs, will you go with the current Criminal Procedure Act, or will you have maintained the 1965 Criminal Procedure Act?
Thank you, Samuel. I think it's about time that the public know that it was during my time that we authored the Criminal Procedure Act. We did all the work, and not one credit has been given to us. This government made a completed text that was even in Parliament, a completed text. Now what they've done, they've changed components of that text. We never had removal of the jury from our text. I think if anything they did was just to remove the jury from our text. That text is ours. Myself, the now Justice Suleiman Ba was the DPP, the current DPP. We worked on that document. And so the change and removal of the jury service has its advantages and disadvantages. But from our perspective, when we drafted the CPA then, the Criminal Procedure Act, it was not part of it. And if we had wanted to remove it, first we have to amend the Constitution. And you're correct, because it has been referenced there. You amend the Constitution and then you come with the Act later. But I am following that to see if they've made any constitutional amendment. I'm yet to see it, but we're still studying the text to see where and what they have removed from the original document that we submitted to Parliament. I'm trying to do a comparative analysis from the text that we had when I was there to the new text that they have prepared to see what they removed and why, and see what is the rationale behind it. Well, you're quite right. When you do these things, Is it for the benefit of the people? Because you don't manage resources. Because the argument for the jury is management of resources, or it's the literals, this, that. But you forget the right of the individual.
Fitzgerald, before that technical glitch, you were talking around comparative analysis of the Criminal Procedure Act and that of the new one. I mean, the previous and that of the new one.
Yes, I was saying that the Criminal Procedure Act was drafted when I was Attorney General. We completed the text, sent it to Parliament, yes, for enactment. And then we left before it was enacted by Parliament. And the draft text we sent to Parliament never had the removal of the jury service. And so I said we're now trying to make a study, a comparative analysis, to see the text that we sent in and what they have removed, so that we know, like a gap analysis type of thing, which we will be able to inform the public. But we await the formal text, the finalized document, and then the public will hear me and I'll do a write-up on it, on the Criminal Procedure Act.
Let's talk of corruption in country. You've spoken on same in passing, but the recent statistics that the country is receiving on a global stage paints a picture as if the country is doing well in terms of its fight against corruption. It seems way too opposite as to what's happening during your days at the Anti-Corruption Commission in terms of figures of the fight against corruption. Are we doing well in terms of the fight against corruption as we speak?
You're quite right. During our tenure at the ACC, the figures were reasonable. They kind of match the expectation of the public with what is going on. And today, when you look at the indicia or the different corruption statistics, for example, Transparency International, Afrobarometer, you seem to believe that the fight is gaining ground. But the fight against corruption is a perception thing. When you come to the ground, people don't feel it. People don't think that you are making any gains. For example, when the Auditor General queried the financial statement of State House, we all see what happened. She was fought to the hilt, removed by Parliament. So when we talk about the credibility and public confidence again, this has undermined the entire confidence of the public on the anti-corruption fight. Move away from that. Today, we are not even sure that the public sector is completing audit queries and responses. After that, nobody cares. And then you remember we just spoke about it, that they found a discrepancy with the Fitzgerald loan project of about 800 million or 800 billion. And then they came back to tell us, oh, it's a typo. I mean, how do you want us to believe what is going on? So really, in terms of figures, componentially you think that, oh yes, it seems like the fight is gaining ground. But the reality on the ground, people are confused. The figures don't sync with what we see on a daily basis. A pat in the back, when Parantarawale, who was Honorable Speaker, Honorable Clerk of Parliament, was removed, they only suspended him. They threw him back to the office, despite what he's done, which is clearly an abuse of his office. A criminal offense under the Anti-Corruption Act. No charges were preferred. And then you also see where other staff of government.
But the ACC did make their recommendation, yes, which was to be acted on by the President.
So how do you see that? Instead of taking the man to court, you make a recommendation to the President and the President patted him on the back. It appears like a conspiracy of deceit to the public. With respect to all. It's like a conspiracy of deceit to the public. You have the power to take the man to court for what he's done, and it was wrong. If you don't want to do it, fine. Referring it to the President and the President to do what was the needful, sack him. It's the least you can do. And instead of sacking him, return him back to the office. It's like, I don't care what you people say. And I always mention it when I do my public speaking. The people of Sierra Leone are really being taken for granted because we don't talk. And I always tell government officials, beware when the people don't speak. For the time they will speak, you will not have a time to reply.
JFK, we've seen evidences, of the fight against corruption with the retrieval of huge amounts of money by the Anti-Corruption Commissioner in the person of Francis Ben-Kaifala. Would you give us a comparative assessment of the fight against corruption then and now?
Yeah, I always say it's difficult to make comparative assessments after you've left an office. It is not fair because of the circumstantial differences. Maybe the circumstances are operating and may not be the same now. But I can tell you in terms of the recoveries, fine and beautiful. It's just one side of the fight against corruption. And you make sure of it. I'm not sure about the publicity show and the publicity stunt of piling monies to be seen and all that. Probably it's an approach that is different. But I can only say they are doing their bit in any effort. It's a difficult fight because corruption can fight back. So it's not easy. You need a very strong character. You need a very willing president. The political will has to be there. So now what I see is a huge disconnect between the fighters of corruption and the political will. There doesn't seem any political will in the fight against corruption.
It has worsened?
The corruption fight? If you look at the indices, they will tell you it has improved. But personally, I think I have my doubts.
JFK, just a clarification. Are you still the legal representative of former President Samsumana Kamara?
Yes, I am.
I remember at some point in time you're on record to have said that former President Samsumana Kamara was forced to leave Sierra Leone. He did not leave by choice, nor does he wish to remain in Nigeria. He wants to return home. As a result of saying, many Sierra Leoneans do believe you are one of those henchmen of former President Samsumana Kamara who does believe in the support of Samsumana Kamara to gain the flag bearership of the APC. What will you say to him?
Well, I can say that on the part of the case, we lawyers are not permitted to comment on the matter that is in court. We call it sub judice.
I know.
Yeah, so that you don't prejudice it. It's still in court, mind you. So I wouldn't comment on things that may affect it. And I can only comment that President Kamara is still in Nigeria. He would always want to be back home. And I think I'll urge the government, call on the government, let us try to look at this thing more diplomatically. And the trials are over. They've convicted those that they want to convict. Not an iota of evidence came out. I'm talking about those trials that are completed. Not an iota of evidence came out against President Kamara. So I think it is time we realize that is all, a circumstance. This is a small country. In the interest of peace and security, President Kamara still have a lot to offer for the country. We can benefit from his expertise. We can benefit from his experience. And it will heal up wounds in the country because many people are affected by his absence. Many people are disappointed that we've reached such an impasse of divide between the green and the red. Maybe his return could help us heal those wounds. So I think we have to start to look at it from a reparation angle, an opportunity to make amends where we've made mistakes as a country.
Is he still in exile?
He's in Nigeria. He's still in Nigeria.
So I ask again, many say you're one of those flag bearers who are contesting and hoping on the support of former President Samsumana Kamara as an added advantage to get the flag bearer of the APC.
That's an interesting one. President Kamara has been the leader of the APC for almost 2 decades or more. And he has such a huge shadow. His shadow looms over the party. Whether he's in or out, shadow looms over the party. And everybody will be glad to have his support if you want to be a flag bearer, because if he links his support with you, it brings added value. So yes, in that light, everybody wants it. But for me, our relationship is not about flag bearer position. It's a lawyer, client, and friend, and brother. So I don't look at it that way. My relationship goes way beyond politics. Way beyond politics. I was telling some people yesterday that I started when I was like 1977, when I supported his member of parliament bid. And we're in the same church. Our parents are very close. So it's not about politics. So if I'm with him, I'll defend him. And if he has an opportunity to support me, I believe he will always support me as long as I'm in the right course.
Please go ahead.
We'll see ways to go through some messages from our Facebook page, and have you some messages, Marina?
No, I'm having issues with my internet.
Similarly so. But JFK, many names have come up for the position of flag bearer within the APC party. What do you think gives you edge over the many names that have come up?
The good thing about the All People's Congress Party is that We're a very open and democratic party. And the many names means many more, and the more the merrier. It could have its own challenges. And we are very good people who have stepped up the platform, because they all, like myself, have seen the vacuum of leadership, and they have what it takes to fill in the vacuum. I can only argue that I have a slight edge. And that edge is that which will make us win State House. That I cut across the aisle. I'll be in Kenema tomorrow, and I'll have huge support because of the person that the people of Kenema know I am. And I'm from Makeni, the North. I am the son. Huge support. I grew up in the Western area. I spent my childhood days here. Regent Square Municipal School, Albert Academy, studied for Brick College. I have the unity in me. I have a package that APC should not look elsewhere to go to State House. And it is that package put together that sets me slightly apart. But all the others are very good. And I must say that whosoever gets it at the end of the day, we will all rally against that individual, because we've seen that APC has to come back to power. Rally around the individual, push for that individual to go to State House. What we have to do at the stage to put our best foot forward. And when we put our best foot forward, we all rally together, we want the seat of office, and then we take the seat of office. So, and I have a very parley relationship with all of my colleagues at the race. At the Macaulay, we've worked together. Cherno, we've worked together. Dr. Abraham is a close parley. He stops by the office now and then. And then Richard Conte is like a brother. He comes, I go to his home. And Mara, we've worked together in cabinet. And by Mahmoud, a political friend, and in the party, we work together, we exchange visits. And Omri Goli, we've known each other since the 90s. And who else is there? I hope I'm not. Jagaban.
Yvonne Akisorio.
Yeah, oh, Yvonne is my client, by the way. You remember she's my client. And we were at the university at the same time. So you can imagine, I have such a rallying figure. It's difficult, while others may even find challenges to bring others together. I'm like at ease. So I think it is that advantage also that I have, that there is a personal network and connection between me and all of the candidates. And I think I'll just talk to them after there's a look. Just use that advantage and come around me. Support JFK, and then, bam, State House.
JFK, just yesterday we had with us in the studio Alfred Peter Conte, who is the chairman for the ITGC. And on one of his submission, he made it very clear here on our television that the current problem that the country is faced with, and also during the tenure of the then former president, Dr. Alex Karama, which some amount to him being the problem, within the party. You are vying for the position as a flag bearer for a party that, is in total disrepute. How do you intend to unite the party at this point? I mean, you just mentioned the list of aspirants, that are equally vying for that same position, of which you just said, you have a very good relationship with all of them. But mind you, this is politics. As though you have a good relationship with them, but they're still vying for the same position of which you're executing interest for.
Yes, you're right that it is not all settled in the All People's Congress. But it's not unusual. Wherever there is a power vacuum, people scurry. People want to be powerful, naturally, and people want to access power. So, yes, there are bound to be misunderstandings, there are bound to be disunity, as you might suggest. But I can tell you, all of these are superficial. When it comes to what we want as a party, we will all come together and marshal our thoughts, marshal our energies to get one candidate. And in the party, we have differences I can understand. We have the Samsumana issue, which we cannot run away from. We have the Dr. Samsumana Kamara issue, which we cannot run away from, and these are all strong pillars in the party. We have the current executive issue, which we cannot run away from. Similarly, we have the Ernest Bai Koroma issue also. But I personally have been working assiduously in trying to make amends in these years. And I talk regularly with Samsumana. I talk regularly with President Koroma. Not very regularly with Samura lately. I will try to find out why. But I'm still pushing because I have that leverage with each and every one of them that I have the ability to bring them together. And so that is why I'm pushing. It is difficult where there is peace. But from my background and experience in the UN, when you see these conventions, they did not start in unison. You'll have China on that side, America on that side, and then Russia on that side. We will work together until we come to a script that is acceptable to all. So from my experience, I'm not scared off by the differences. I am someone who looks at the healing process. I believe in coming together. And with that acidity, I think we will get there. Trust.
What are your thoughts on two things? One, the statements made by Alfred Peter Conte that the bigger problem, not just within the APC party, but also presently in the country, has to do with the former president, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma. And secondly, about the statement of Chief Alhaji Samuel Samsumana.
Yeah, these are issues that we are grappling with in the party. I wouldn't subscribe to his view that the bigger problem is President Koroma. I wouldn't subscribe to the view, because if the APC is where it is today, it is because of the work of President Koroma. He has built the party. He gave us the opportunity to have a president, and that's not easy. And having accomplished that, the party is stronger today in terms of numeric strength. We're established all over the world. We have branches all over the world. And those of us coming after him, we're energized. So I think we give him credit for that. I'm not saying he's a saint. He's made his mistakes, which we also acknowledge. Right. But then when it comes to the Samsumana issue, yes, it's also a problem. We're working on it. Yesterday I was talking to some group of people that we want him to come in and let us engage rather than going to court. And so that as a party we should be seen to be together. And whatever it takes, in any body politic, there should be a give and take. No one should have it all. So let us see what is exactly what he wants and what is exactly that the party can offer. Because the party can only give that which it can give. So, but either way, we must come to a point, no matter what. It's all about politics. It's about networking. It's about your willingness to serve, the selflessness. So if we tap in on that, say, look, Sam, you're a brother. You want this as much as I. But let us look at this issue more clearly for the people of this country. What is it that we can sacrifice? Put aside ego. Put aside self-aggrandizement. Let us look at ourselves in the eye and say, this is for the people of this country. The people of this country want APC to come together. The people of this country want us to sit and offer them a leadership that will rescue them at this point in time. It's a nation in crisis. And I think I'm ready to make up my sacrifices. And I call on each and every other Sierra Leonean, particularly those of us in the race of the APC. Let us be prepared to make the sacrifices. Drop off the ego cloaks. Drop off our T-shirts. And focus for what the people want from us.
Maybe you may want to clarify, because many Sierra Leoneans are concerned about the fact that the former president is in Nigeria on health purposes. How true is that? Yeah, and how is that coming along?
Well, that is what we have on record. And you recall, these are the papers that we filed. I wouldn't comment beyond that what is in court. As I said, we lawyers, we are evidence-based. We have on record the document, and it's there. I know that he has been in perpetual illness. At his age, I understand that either he's back now from Germany from his medical checks and all that. And so, yes, that is what I can say as a matter of fact. But then beyond that, yes, he feels okay. Yes, because of his age, he may have his health challenges. But certainly, the most important thing for him, he wants to come home. He wants to come home.
JFK, just as my co-host did mention, yesterday we hosted Alfred Peter Conte, who did mention Article 56, Sub 2 of the APC new Constitution of 2022, which talks about the time frame a person, a member within the party, will have been in the party, paid subscriptions, and be eligible to contest, which is the bone of contention regarding Samuel Samsumana, which you just spoke to, in terms of a would-be court action. Alfred also did promise him, noting that the constitution of the APC party is not in line with the national constitution. APC seems to have been disenfranchising members rather than what is stipulated in the constitution. It seems as if your party risks going to court, taking into account the pointers that seem extremely visible within your party, JFK.
Yes, Samuel, thank you for that very excellent question. I can say that the risk is there, of course, because it poses a constitutional challenge or for a constitutional interpretation, because the party's view is that as a party, they have the power to set up their own internal requirements, in terms of assessment of candidates, and the constitution cannot take that right away from them. And on the other hand, you have the Samsumana view that you cannot stop me from being eligible to qualify, and if you do, it is against the constitution. So we have these two arguments, which commonsensically do make sense to anybody listening. And usually the arbiter that can interpret the constitution is the Supreme Court. Sure. But we as a party, we are not anxious to go in there. One, it delays us. It does not add value to us as a party. It further wedges divisions. And don't forget, there's big mistrust about the Supreme Court by the APC. So I think that is why at this stage, we're stepping up out of anxiety and out of a sense of urgency for us to come together. Yesterday I was talking to Omegole, he's in the UK, is coming, and we're trying to meet the legal team as provided an opinion, and those of us that are lawyers, we're also sitting together to discuss with the party what are the legal options. How can we avert going to the Supreme Court? And I think once we're able to do that, we will feel better. But the Constitution was not intended to deprive anybody of the opportunity to qualify to contest. But then we have the rational political one, and we have the rationale for the legal side. But we're discussing. We're discussing.
As I said, we have a number of messages on our Facebook page. We'll see ways to go through those messages and allow you to respond. First off is from Remy Silvanos Abiko Cole, who says, "Blessed morning, JFK. I like your personality, and I'm sure you know it. My question is, what's the status of the Kush civil engineer after your interaction with him? What's your take on continuity of government, as this is a major concern in the governance structure in Africa, and particularly Sierra Leone? I wish you all the best."
Yeah, thank you. Well, with that one,
we'll read out here.
We'll go through number.
This is from Saidu Bangura, and he's saying the only leader Sierra Leone needs during this pivotal moment is Honorable JFK.
Osam Konsi says the APC office in Makini, which diluted the country money to build, is now in a very bad condition, so dilapidated beyond belief. And these same people are telling us to give them another chance to rule us, which will result in selling the country.
Mohawaba is saying, "You have never met a better man yet. I promise you that. You can only claim to have met a better man when you meet Honorable Joseph Fitzgerald Kamara."
Koroma Ibrahim Alpha says, "I wish I could meet you in camera one day, JFK."
And someone is asking, and that's Issa Koroma is asking, how did he leave the condition of the special court?
Sheku Sanko says, "Are we not tired of this new face thing? The ones that fails are not new phases. Why can't we focus on the few positive politicians that have already proven standards and sound performance?"
Oh, please go ahead.
Sheku also says, "This is the leader. He has strides when given opportunity with sound performance."
Joseph Aruna is saying, why APC wasting their time when they have JFK as the right figure to take the APC to the State House?
Issa Koroma says, "People have been suffering in that country for all my life under the APC."
Hussam Konte is saying, JFK, you are in the main opposition party, but to be honest, the opposition party is not helping in any way towards the government achievement, but rather engage in chaotic political rhetorics that has caused lots of problems across the country.
Lamin Denke says, thank you, JFK, to expose this rogue and propaganda government.
Hussam Conte again is saying, JFK, you were the Attorney General and Minister of Justice when Samsumana was illegally kicked out of office by Anes Kurma. What was your position in that regard?
Emmanuel Evandi says, you said you delivered on electricity. Please, I would like to know if you delivered. Why are we still experiencing blackouts? Because we are all talking about sustainable development. Why is it that the light you delivered on wasn't sustainable? And don't forget, government is continuity.
Hussam Conte, sorry I had to smile. Hussam Conte is saying he looks like his former boss, and in case he's given the opportunity to rule this country, he will then surely act like his former boss.
Continue.
Joseph Aruna is saying JFK is the brain behind the Pay No Bribe campaign at ACC. The Social Safety Net Collaborative Project, ACC, and the NACSA, he feels the pain and concerns for the ordinary Sierra Leonean.
Continue.
Sheku Sanko is saying this is the leader. He has strides when given opportunity with sound performance.
Joseph Aruna says JFK is the brain behind the Pay No Bribe campaign at the ACC. Have you gone through same?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Abdul is saying the Kush Must Go initiative by JFK is very good. It shows how determined you are to solve the issue of this country. Keep it up.
Saidu Bangra says the only leader Sierra Leone needs during this pivotal moment is Honorable JFK.
And I think he also have an academician here who is saying above all Albert Academy.
Lots and lots of messages. Continue. Still have many messages. I'm trying to.
Al-Mami is saying if other countries pay salaries on a weekly basis, why not Sierra Leone? And having JFK as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, we can receive salaries on a weekly basis. Also, he can deliver the best to Sierra Leoneans.
Solomon Coker says all JFK did in office was to protect his cousin, Anes Kurma.
Mark 10 from New England is saying, what makes you the ideal candidate to lead the APC party and to restore it to power? And how do you plan to navigate the complexity of APC party politics and build a cohesive strategy for 2028 elections?
Mark 10 also says JFK, the decision by former president and his then government to unconstitutionally dismiss the elected vice president was not only a violation of the letter and spirit of the 1991 Constitution, but also a deliberate blow to the country's democratic institution. Nearly a decade later, the scars of that action remains visible, and Sierra Leone deserves an honest apology for the lies and deception that misled its people.
Khalid highlighted 3 questions, but I'm just going to pick one. You had the power to prosecute high-profile corruption cases. Why were so few senior politicians held accountable during your time in office?
The messages kept coming. Honorable has demonstrated, this one is from Sembinatu Kanu, who says Honorable has demonstrated leadership in all the positions he has held. I pray he gets the flag bearer position in the APC. And it's from, of course, Saidu Bangura.
Mark 10 again from New England is saying, JFK, how do you plan to unify the APC party and inspire public trust, given your extensive experience in governance and law?
Congo Support says JFK undermined the 1991 Constitution by advising Anes Kurma, former President Anes Kurma, to unlawfully and unconstitutionally dismiss his vice president. Why are you now discussing the challenges we face concerning this issue? Why can't you apologize and acknowledge your wrongdoings to the people of Sierra Leone? We have many messages.
Lastly, from my end is from Rabiatu Kamara, and she's saying, this is the man APC, Unagi with this man. Those are quite...
Last from my end is from Victor Foyo, who says, Honorable JFK, if you succeed to restore sanity in your party, you are sure of a clean ticket to become the flag bearer. I think those are the messages we take. We have many messages.
Indeed,
we have many messages.
Indeed. Well, let me start by saying a big thank you to all those that took their time to write messages and the kind words, some of them not so very kind, but still It's part of democracy. We welcome you all and we thank you very much. And let me start by the one that you mentioned, the Kush guy, the engineer. Yes, he doesn't have a phone. He used to come by the office some once in a while, but I note I haven't seen him in the last 2 months. I hope something has not happened to him. I don't know how to locate him because he comes on his own. So I'll try to see if I can make some effort in locating him. And from the several questions, there is one that I think that has been coming up, which is the Samsumana thing. And it is so wrong. And I've continued to say it, and I don't know why people keep on coming back, that I was not the Attorney General that advised President Kamara to remove Samsumana. I was at the ACC. The records are clear. Look at the timing. I only came in when I was invited to go to the ECOWAS. And I said, no. Our Supreme Court has decided. And our Supreme Court is the supreme law of the land. I'm not going again about this issue to any other court, because the ECOWAS court does not have appellate jurisdiction, as we will call it in law. So I was not the Attorney General. I never advised. And at that time, I was a political. I didn't mix in politics. I was at the SEC. Well, people keep on coming back and forth about that. No, it is not true. And so I have nothing to apologize about. I did not participate in it, and I did not contribute to it. But what I can say is that when I was at the office of Attorney General, when they made their decision, they wanted to read the judgment. They invited our office to go. I said, no, I'm not going. I respect the judgment of the Supreme Court. And that's it. Nobody can tell me that I should not respect the judgment of our Supreme Court. And so I stand by that. As to the merits and the merit of what happened, it's different. It's different. I wouldn't subscribe to it, fine, as a person. But I have no role to play in it. Nothing whatsoever. Look at the difference, look at the age, look at the time, look at the advice. Never had any role. But moving beyond that, for me, I believe that it's time we heal up, because a lot of questions were appertaining to that what is my role in healing the party. And I think I come in as a unifying candidate. I come in as a candidate that can throw an appeal to each and every one. I come in as a candidate that relates with each and every other candidate. I come in with a leverage and a background of experience that wills the support of others, that we should sit around the table and talk. And that is the initiative I'm pushing through. And when you look at it at this stage, Dr. Samura is still very key to the APC. We're moving out to him, bringing him back. President Kamara is very strategic to the work of the APC. So we're bringing to bring him back. So for those others who are still trying to strike discord in trying to undermine the APC, clearly there's a challenge there. We will work with it. We're now calling today on all those of us, APC out there, if you have a grievance, come let us settle. Because we owe it to the people of this country that Sierra Leone needs us more than we need ourselves.
On that note, quickly as we close this program, permit me to ask just one more question. Now, how would you respond to accusations that said you supported or you pushed the 2-SIM issue when you were the then Attorney General, which actually disenfranchised, a lot of diaspora and also destabilized the party?
I almost forgot about that one. Again, there's another misconception. I advised for an amendment of the law. I interpreted Section 76(1) of the Constitution. I said this is affecting the diasporans. And don't forget, I also lived in the diaspora. I was out of the country for like 9-10 years. I came back in 2003. So I would not have any grievance or anything. What I advise is, let us do something about this law. And the failure for us not to do something, what happened? 10 of our MPs were removed from Parliament, most of them on account of infringement of that provision. And I think not too long ago, I wrote a piece about it, that since the draft legislation we left in Parliament for review and amendment of that law, it is still in Parliament. And I took a step forward. I've written to Honorable Singapore Thomas that that bill is still there in Parliament. Let us go and fix it. We need the diasporans. They are brothers and sisters. They have expertise, human resource capacity, and they are funding most families here. So they need, because of that, they have a base. Let them come and contribute. I look at myself as an example. I see the impact that I've made since I came back. So we need to encourage others to come. So no, I did not stop diasporans from benefit. I identified the provision that affects them. And I said, let us do something about it. And I'm still pushing. I hope that the Honorable Singapore Thomas is listening and the members of Parliament are listening. Let us do something of Section 76(1). The bill is there. You don't need to draft anything new. I left it there. They too can add or do what they want to do. Let us just change it. And we have time now to do it. So everybody can come and participate. So it was not wrong to have identified the problem. I think I did what was right, but I think it was misunderstood. But hey, in politics, you remain to be the misunderstood until posterity judges you well.
And your message possibly to your supporters of GFK?
Yeah. My message to my supporters, I always say my supporters are the people of Sierra Leone. My supporters are just not APC. My supporters are the people of Sierra Leone. I bring joy. Joy is coming.
Because I've seen same on many kekes.
Yes.
Across Fritz. I wanted to ask why joy is coming.
Well, Samuel, permit me to give you a story of how joy is coming. I went to Bonth to talk to the people in Bonth, and there was so much pain to supporters of APC in Bonth, how they were maltreated. Even when I went, we hired the hall, the district hall that we APC built. They shut it down. They said they don't have the keys. Can you imagine? So I was talking to them and they waited for me under the rain. I got to Bonth at about 7 in the evening. So when I heard their plight, I heard their stories. And it came to my head. I said, I know, I've had your pains, but joy is coming. And the whole hall went resonating with, joy is coming, joy is coming. That is how we got it. So joy is coming to our people. That's my message.
Many say you seem to be having a semblance of the former President Alice Nkrumah.
Yes, a lot of people have been saying that, but I personally don't think we so look alike. but I think we do, because I always tell him that he's my younger brother. And yes, we look alike, but I think we are different in many ways also. Yes, and he's much more of a very placid, astute individual, calmer. I am more exuberant, you know, playful, and at the same time open. You know, he's more steady and all that kind of thing. But I'm outspoken. Yes, I look at you, I tell you what I feel like. He can manage it better. So I think, yes, looking alike could also mean that some genetic affiliation is there somewhere. So I don't regret looking alike with a handsome man like him.
Cousins?
Well, we're not cousins. Yes, we're not cousins. And I'm not sure we may have blood connections, but we come from the same background. And, you know, I'm sure there is down the road, down the line, we must have crisscrossed somewhere, because his mother is from Kamabai. My mother is also from Kamabai. And when you have the small society areas, you know, the family crisscrosses.
Right.
So yes, I went to school in Kamabai. My mother's a Limba. And that's another advantage I have. My father is Tini, my mother is Limba. The two strong tribes in the APC. I compound both of them. So APC don't have a choice. Just go for JFK. It's APC you've got.
With that being said, JFK, we had wished to continue the conversation. There was a lot we'll have talked around, but I know we'll definitely have a chance to bring you back in our studios.
Thank you.
But we say thank you so very much for having waited for this long.
Yeah.
We've overrun the program. Normally we close at 10, but it's now half past 10, and you're still with us. We
I hope it's
thank you so
worth
very
it.
much, JFK.